during this half-time interval. The two sides lock level at 1 apiece. So plenty to discuss with Terry Gibson during the half-time break. Some lovely finishing, a few errors though along the way, and an intriguingly poised contest.
It is, but I think Tottenham started off the better of the two teams. They're a little bit more assured when they were passing the ball around, but Manchester United gradually got into the end. Due to the midfield trio, I think Grimshaw and Rothwell in particular were really good. So it was unfortunate when Manchester United just appeared as if they were getting a grip on the game, getting the fullbacks pushing forward, getting support forward to James Wilson, Pereira and Falcao, that they were unfortunately gave a gift of a goal to Tottenham. And it's one of those midfield players that's had a good game. Yeah,
Joe Rothwell, a terrific young player who's been very promising coming up through the ranks at United, and he'll be annoyed with this mistake that gifted Tottenham the opening goal.
He will, but as I said, he was playing well before that, and thankfully it doesn't look as if he's really taken too much out of his performance. He's showed a good response. It's a good finish from McAvoy. He breaks through the challenge from Donald Love, who's not set up. They're set up, Manchester United, to keep possession, pass the ball at the back. All of a sudden, they're having to defend quickly, hence the goalkeeper's positioning as well. But give credit to McAvoy, breaks through the tackle, composes himself, and then clips it over the former Barcelona goalkeeper. And it's a big goal for a young player.
Yeah, collector's item, that, isn't it, for a youngster? But when you think about we talk about experience at this level. This is all about experience, isn't it? And for Joe Rothwell, and for any United player in that case, when they make a mistake, if you're playing at the highest level, then that mistake's going to be punished, isn't it? Yeah. So in some ways it's good that went in for player development.
Exactly. You learn by your mistakes, and it's not just young players that make mistakes. We can talk about the second goal last night against Arsenal. It was an experienced player making a mistake. So every player makes mistakes. It's how you react after that. But I thought the midfield three have really played. Sean Goss has been excellent as well. Grimshaw, Rothwell. The more they have of the ball, the more they can get the ball in good positions, and if they have good possession, it allows the fullbacks the time and opportunity to push on, and Manchester United look far better, in particular when Raphael pushes forward. It allows Wilson to tuck inside, get closer to Falcao, and they look much more of a threat going forward than Manchester United.
And speaking of Raphael, what a coolly taken finish this was from him. The goalkeeper will be kicking himself because he collects the ball and then throws it straight out to the goal scorer.
Well, it's an attempt to build an attack quickly, and with experience you know that throw isn't on. But he's punished, and you've seen a senior player playing in the under-21s there in Raphael, who's aware of that there might possibly be a mistake. It's a good chest control. It sits down nicely, but what I liked is he didn't panic, he didn't rush, he didn't think I've got to do this quickly before the goalkeeper gets back on the line. He took his time and went for quality and just clipped it under the crossbar. It was a fine finish from Raphael.
Yeah, a goal of the month contender really, that from Raphael, and a terrific finish, and very exciting to see him do that. Now, Tottenham have had a couple of efforts in that first half. Shaquille Coulthurst, a handy striker who's played in the Football League on loan a couple of times, and half an hour gone, he was making a bit of a nuisance of himself. And again, this was United starting with the ball and giving it away.
It is, they're trying to do the right thing, and Warren Joyce will be pleased with that. Valdez is particularly annoyed, but he's the one that's looking to play the ball out the back. And then he demands that his players should be able to deal with that. And again, give credit to Tottenham. They realised it was an opportunity to go and press as a pack. That's exactly what they did. It's a slight deflection off of Tom Thorpe that takes it, just drifts it past the far post. But that was dangerous. Sharp play from Tottenham, but they mentioned I just about get away with that. No harm done.
So a Tottenham effort there, a United effort here. Sean Goss, who's had to be patient, as we mentioned in commentary, for his under-21 appearances, and came very close here to tucking one inside the post.
It does, and he looks a very assured midfield player, and again it's an example of Manchester United winning the ball back quickly. Then when they raid forward and they play with sharpness, they are much better. And it's Falcao was slightly isolated on a few occasions in the first half, outnumbered there by the Tottenham defenders, but when it breaks clear, Sean Goss is there tries to wrap his foot around it and tries to be precise and just gets it inches past that far post.
Yeah, good to see him getting on the pitch and doing well. And a frustrating moment for Radamel Falcao in the first half. James Wilson did well to have the ball, cut it in and have a shot, and it just hit Falcao.
It pretty much sums up what's going through Radamel Falcao's mind at the moment. He's finding it really tough. But I'm someone that's seen him play at his best. He isn't at his best at the moment, lacking confidence. Confidence takes away sharpness, pace, fitness. belief, and it's a long-term project to get Falcao back to his best. I really hope he does it. It's a shame when you see any striker going through this sort of patch where they're struggling for confidence. I'm not so sure even if he got a goal tonight it would increase that confidence. He needs a run in the first team, he needs a goal or two in the first team, and then he'll be up and running again.
It'd be interesting to see who we see in the second half as well, because of Radamel Falcao, how long is he going to play? Wilson likewise, Raphael likewise.
Exactly. I mean, the three senior players, outfield players, I'm sure. I mean, one or two would like to play the foot. I wouldn't be surprised to see James Wilson play at 90 minutes. I'd be surprised to see Falcao play any more than an hour. I think it'd be a little bit of a surprise if we see him back in the second half. I'm not sure what he gets out of this game tonight, if I'm being honest. What he might have got more from just doing an extra training session, but it's one where he won't want to get injured. It is tough when you're a world-class player and you're used to playing in big games, to then drop down to play with young players. I'm not so sure what he gets out of it, so it'd be interesting to see if he comes back out for the second half. With Victor Valdez, it's totally different. He needs to be playing. Again, I'm not sure what he's getting out of this tonight because he's not getting work that hard. But that's going to be the case. If this is the football he's going to have to play to regain match fitness and get back to his best, I was going to say to put pressure on David De Gea, but that's a long way away. No one's going to put pressure on David De Gea at the moment. But it's certainly, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out for the second half.
It certainly will, and we will find out indeed who is playing and indeed what happens in the second half very shortly indeed. Stay with us.
Aeroflot, Russian Airlines.
I'm Dennis Irwin, and I'm playing DHL's Red Devil Battle Stats, the live match challenge that tests your skills at picking the top performers each week. All you need to do is visit dhlmanunited.com and click the Play Now button. Think you can do a better job than me? Enter now, and you could be coming to Old Trafford to watch Manchester United play Arsenal later this season. So get online and start playing.
The game is changing. Experience a new kind of online poker now on Party Poker.
Never miss a fixture with the Manchester United calendar. Available on Apple, Android and Outlook formats. With automatic updates throughout the season, you'll always know when United's next game is. Available now and for free at manunited.com/calendar.
He's a legend.
That's true.
And he's ready for your thoughts.
Hi, Pete. Hi, Tony. Hi, Billy. You all right?
Put your views to a European Cup winner.
Manchester United, agony aunts.
And maybe earn his respect.
What planet are you on?
That's rubbish. Easily wound up.
Phone, tweet or email the sharpest man in the business.
You there, Paul? Saying it again, I thought the referee was very, very poor.
The Paddy Crerand Show.
That's a great reason we have this programme, because everyone's got an opinion, haven't they?
Tonight at 6:30 on MUTV.
Welcome back to Old Trafford. 1-1 between United and Spurs here tonight. And we have more live under-21s football for you next week, next Monday night. United taking on Everton. Only just recently played them, of course, a 0-0 draw at Leeds Sports Village. But on Monday, we're at the Merseyrail Community Stadium in Southport. Everton against United, 6:30 Monday night. Do join us for that. Two sides back out for the second half. Radamel Falcao is out, as is Wilson. There are no visible changes to either side from where we're standing at the moment. Rothwell and Pereira just jogging forward to join the likes of Falcao, ready for this second half. An entertaining first period. Both sides finding the back of the net, so the game is well and truly in the balance. The points are there to be grabbed. Off we go again. Falcao and Andreas Pereira get the ball rolling. And United will look to get the scoring going in this second half, having gone behind in the first period and had to react. Both sides as they were at the start. A good watch so far in this game, Terry.
It is, and we're seeing that both teams unchanged. And I guess from Manchester United's perspective, looking at Falcao, if he's a chance of him playing at the weekend, I guess there is enough time for him to recover from this match tonight before the game on Sunday against Tottenham.
Yes, this is a dress rehearsal for the first team game here at the weekend. And just in case you're just joining us, confirmation of the two sides at the bottom of your screen. Valdez, Raphael, Falcao and Wilson, the headline names from a United point of view. Good battle in the middle of the park, Wilson and Ward. Ward comes away with the ball. Onomah to Lesniak. And the Slovakian playing in that defensive midfield role tonight for Spurs has really allowed Onomah and Ward to push forward more at times.
He certainly is, and two different players, aren't they? Ward is quite a combative midfield player. Onomah is the one that's trying to get as close as possible in terms of as an attacking midfield player to the centre forward Coulthurst.
Here's Raphael. Wilson. Falcao waits in the middle. Rothwell is also there. Here he is. Just couldn't return the favour to Wilson. Maybe at times these two sides have been a bit guilty of not allowing enough players forward to join the attack, but Spurs have got three here. And we're running with the ball. Donald Love stopping his progress. He's looking to set Falcao away, but that's always going to favour the goalkeeper.
There's an acknowledgement there from Donald Love that it was the right idea, wasn't it, to try and step out from the back into midfield and then find Falcao with a pass.
Here's Falcao backing into Khumalo and doing well against him. Centre back though did recover. Lesniak to Miller. Here's Ogilvie, not able to keep that in. Here's Grimshaw. Wilson. Ogilvie was wise to the turn. Miller. Walker-Peters gets it back from McAvoy. Donald Love is across though, sees that one out. I wonder what Ryan Giggs has made tonight of the performance of those in red, in particular James Wilson and Radamel Falcao, both trying to force their way into the squad for the game against Tottenham's first team on Sunday.
It's good that Ryan Giggs is here, isn't it? It's a busy old life being involved in a massive club like Manchester United. Game last night, games coming thick and fast. So much to do, but it's pleasing that he's taken the time to come to Old Trafford and watch the youngsters. And Falcao and Valdez, of course.
Let me tell you, you're still young at 33.
I can't even remember what it was like at 33. That long ago.
Well, Axel Tuanzebe on the bench for United tonight, just 16. Ball flicked forward towards Rothwell, who's going to charge to try and keep this one in. He does so. Wilson makes a run in the middle, so does Falcao, but it's Lesniak who cuts it out. Falcao profits from a good challenge there by Raphael. And now it's Wilson. Still not many red shirts forward here. Grimshaw across to Pereira. Reece James joins in. Pereira sees a chance to test the keeper. Straight at him, but again showing his prowess from distance.
Yep, slightly ambitious though. I think Falcao has shrugged the shoulders and a look at his teammate as if to say, from that distance, couldn't you work the ball into the box? They had 2 or 3 opportunities. Joe Rothwell was guilty of not putting a cross of real quality. And then Pereira from distance, good power. Comfortable save for the goalkeeper.
Sean Goss clipping that one out off McAvoy. Here's Reece James taking the throw. A few years ago he was released by Preston North End for potentially not being tall enough. I don't think at that point he thought he'd play in a match with Victor Valdez and Radamel Falcao. Just shows the career that he's had since, impressing at United and indeed out on loan as well. Wilson, nice touch from him. He's not going to give this up either. He wasn't the sharpest off his line. And the offside flag goes up against Coulthurst. Shaquille Coulthurst, who was the second top scorer for Spurs at this level last season, behind a certain Harry Kane. I wonder whatever happened to him. Here's Falcao. Rothwell to Grimshaw. And Raphael. Wilson's got something behind that. Grant Ward certainly felt the full force of that one.
Yeah, and then to be fair, he's doing well. He's trying to show it didn't hurt, but it was a lot of power in the attempt from Wilson.
Raphael. Grimshaw to Goss. Thorpe steps forward, looking to join in the attack. Rothwell just let it go. Now there's a gap at the back where Thorpe was. Spurs are looking to exploit it. Liam Grimshaw, though, has plugged said gap.
That's so important that he does that, isn't it, Liam Grimshaw? It's a really important aspect of that defensive midfield role, isn't it, to sweep up, plug those gaps, whether it be centre back, right back, left back. Always be in a good position to try and be your first thought has to be about defending.
Donald Love steps in to take that off Coulthurst. It's what we always see from Daley Blind or Michael Carrick, isn't it, in between the two United centre-halves at first team level.
It is. I mean, it's a specialist position. It took a while for the Premier League teams in the Premier League to realise that. Makelele was obviously the first, wasn't he? And then he had the position named after him.
Yes, the Makelele role,
yep,
as it's become known over the years.
Before that, it was 4-4-2, wasn't it? Both midfield players doing the Brian Robson, backwards and forwards, defending at one end, scoring 15 goals a year if you were as good as Brian Robson. And now the workload has been eased. It's been shared between 3-4 players, defensive midfield, attacking midfield. But Grimshaw has shown tonight that he's got the intelligence to play that role and play it really well.
It's a shame it wasn't called the Vinnie Jones role.
No, but there's no. It's not a shame.
He's getting different types of role these days,
does,
isn't
yeah.
he? So,
yep. He plays the Vinnie Jones role all the time.
Yeah.
Every film he's in, he plays Vinnie Jones. Back to the football.
And Sean Goss just brings Grant Ward tumbling to the ground, so Tottenham get a free kick. Sean Goss is just going to have to take a quick word from the referee. I think he's just saying that's your last warning before a card. So he hasn't had much work to do tonight, Victor Valdez. He'll be called upon here, you would think, if the delivery is good. It's in from Miller. It's neatly worked. It's McAvoy, and it's a problem for United. And the crossbar had to come to the rescue of those in red and green.
Oh, what a really cool free kick, and pleasing to see. Always pleasing to see when the team show a little bit of imagination. They've worked something off the training field, put the time and effort into practicing it, and then it paid off there for Tottenham Hotspur.
Cameron Carter-Vickers. He's been at Tottenham since he was 11, and very nearly made an impression there against United. Corner is not a good one. Reece James deals with that. Well, that's a scare, isn't it? And a sign that set pieces shouldn't be given away. Onoma to Grant Ward. Ogilvie back to Kumalo. Onoma. Coulthurst to Walker-Peters. And McAvoy has taken him a little wide. Still gets the ball in though. And it was a dangerous one, and it's come to Miller. Straight at Valdez in the end. It was Coulthurst who was winding up for a spectacular effort there.
It's a good little spell from Tottenham. They're moving the ball about sharply. I'm lucky to see the ball rebound off the crossbar from the effort from Carter-Vickers. It's been that type of game, isn't it, where teams have done something well, both teams, and then for the next 5 or 6 minutes feed off that little bit of confidence and belief that they can go on and continue doing so. But it's had a good flow to it. At the moment, it's Tottenham moving the ball about well, slightly on top. As I said, I'm pretty sure that will change again in the next few minutes. Manchester United do something particularly good with the ball and get their belief and confidence up.
Onoma tried to go through the legs of Rothwell there. He grabs the ball and charges forward with Wilson and Falcao in support. Andreas Pereira joining in now as well. Here is Wilson. The room maybe for Goss. Miller sticking tightly to him. Here's Wilson. Wilson going for it. Relatively easy one in the end for McGee. It's from that kind of range that he scored the winner against Spurs at White Hart Lane last season.
You certainly know he has the capability, doesn't he, on that left foot, playing on the right side. If he can get a little bit of space to get a shot away.
We saw him score from that kind of range as well against West Ham earlier this season. And Michael Carrick was in the United side that night, getting back to fitness.
Played one-touch football all night, Michael Carrick, didn't he, with ease as well. And probably something that's been lacking in this game, particularly for Manchester United, more one-touch passing, and that moves the ball around quicker.
He seemed to enjoy himself that night, didn't he? Michael going back to where it all began for him at West Ham. Here comes Spurs with Walker-Peters. Crossing hits Reece James. Lesniak hooks it forward to Grant Ward, and then James looks to spread it to Wilson. Just had to try and keep that one in. James Wilson. It's great to be here at Old Trafford tonight with the under-21s. During the course of this season, Warren Joyce's side will have played at Anfield, 3 times at Old Trafford, at Carrow Road, at the Stadium of Light, at the King Power Stadium, at Craven Cottage as well. A good experience for these younger players. Next Sweet
wondering if Reece James has got a little injury problem. Speaking to Warren Joyce on the bench, substitutes getting warmed up.
Here he is seizing on a mistake and looking to slide in Falcao. Very nearly did so. Good work from Bongani Kumalo. It's the right kind of ball down the channels. Falcao has to feed off. Coulthirst did some good work there and then went for goal, and he's done so again. He's trying to win this game on his own.
Yeah, one or two of them fancy their chances against Victor Valdez from 35 yards. Not been enough of them been able to hit the target though.
We're about to hit the hour mark, or at least we have hit the hour mark, so this is where you start wondering if changes might be made, and Andy Kellett is making himself ready for action. Here goes Raphael. He's already bagged one goal tonight. Needs a bit of support here. 3 red shirts join in. Sean Goss! It hits Falcao and bobbles through to the goalkeeper.
Swift attacking play for Manchester United. And Falcao involved in the build-up. Raphael does really well. He knows that he's ahead. He's in advance of all his teammates. So he cuts back. Good skill and tries to pick out Goss. Does exactly that. Unfortunately, hits Falcao, takes some pace off the attempt. And Luke McGee is able to make the save.
And that deflection could have taken it anywhere. It's just unfortunate it took the pace off the shot. Here's Ward. Raphael goes in for the challenge and gets knocked over as a result. Free kick to United. We are now going to see a change for United. Andy Kellett is going to come on. And the change is going to be made, and eagle-eyed Terry Gibson. It is Reece James who is going off.
The substitution for United number 14, Andy Kellett, replacing number 5, Reece James.
So on comes Andy Kellett, who had the rather strange experience last time out of playing against the side who he is on loan from. Playing against Bolton, he had a great chance to score, in fact, which wasn't taken. And Bolton won the game by 1-0 to knock United out of the Manchester Senior Cup. But on he comes now at left back. He'll get about a half an hour to impress, although must be said the last 2 games at this level, a United substitute has had to be substituted due to injury. Callum Evans against Bolton and Ashley Fletcher at Sunderland, so hopefully the curse doesn't strike again, this time for Andy Kellett. Here is Kellett to Goss. Grimshaw. Wilson taking on Ogilvie. It's a good run from Wilson. It's in towards Falcao. Tottenham with enough bodies back to get rid of the danger.
You see Wilson with his pace and skill. Clearly has the better of the Ogilvie when he gets one-on-one. It's the modern day trend, isn't it, to play wingers on the, I guess we call it the wrong side, so left footer playing on the right wing. There are times where it does look a little bit uncomfortable with whoever the player is. I mean, even Gareth Bale at Real Madrid playing on the right wing still looks to cross it with the outside of his left foot. And he cost almost €100 million, so it's a different way of attacking the ball as a centre forward, isn't it? If you're Falcao and it's James Wilson running down the right wing who's left footed, anticipating when that cross is going to come in. It's slightly different for a centre forward.
You have changed, haven't you, from the crazy gang to talking in euros. Here's Raphael. 3 red shirts in the middle, but it's Conor Ogilvie who gets it away. Grimshaw, lovely pass, gives Raphael the chance to get the cross in towards Wilson. Luke McGee in the way.
Yeah, it's risk of sounding repeating myself. When Raphael gets forward, it's important Andy Kellett does as well. Gives Wilson the chance to get in the box, and there's 2 or 3 players all of a sudden for Tottenham Hotspur have to mark rather than just the one in Falcao.
Just too much height on that for Kyle Walker-Peters.
You can see the pace of the attack. And the ball does come into the box. You can see Wilson in there alongside Falcao. Life is much more difficult for a defence when there's 2 or 3 players in the box looking to attack to cross coming in. Really important that the fullbacks for Manchester United both are encouraged to push forward.
So, throw for Tottenham. Look at the watch, says we have 25 minutes to go. These two sides tied level on points at the top of the under-21s Division 1. United just ahead with a very slightly better goal difference. And Tottenham with a game in hand. So, it'd be handy to win this game tonight for United.
Yep, I think it's in terms of winning this league, you get to this stage of the season, you're in contention. It's difficult to judge because you have so many players playing. There's players that have had a really good input into this team over the season, and now out on loan. Will Keane, for example, and players who have been out on loan have come back in, so it's hard to get any consistency. But at this stage of the year, if you're in contention, why not go all out to try and win it?
All helps with confidence, doesn't it, and with experience. And this under-21s and reserve setup in the last few years under Warren Joyce and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been incredibly successful at lifting trophies.
And it enhances a winning mentality, which is all important when you play for Manchester United.
Walker-Peters to McAvoy, scored the opening goal. Miller forward to Coulthurst, tiptoeing his way past Kellett. Miller, Onuma. Coulthurst is offside. A little bit of pushing and shoving there. Victor Valdez just saying, what on earth is this guy doing?
Valdez probably feels that Coulthurst has left his foot in late on this challenge. It was that late we'd all looked away. I think he does, in fairness, try to jump him, doesn't he? I'm not so sure Valdez is that aggrieved about it, and surprised as well that Coulthurst continued the argument, a little bit over-aggressive with Valdez.
Victor Valdez, 12 years Coulthurst senior, with the experience to keep calm in that situation. And it comes from Kellett. It's towards Falcao. Wilson was prowling around as well. Pereira's challenge. Referee says it's a foul. Here's Lesniak. Gani Kumalo. Joshua Harrop is preparing himself, by the way. Ward back to Onuma. Here's Miller. McAvoy towards Coulthurst, away by Love. Towards Falcao. Here's Coulthurst. Onuma looked up and saw the run of Ogilvie, didn't use him in the end, and Love quite happy to see that back to Victor Valdez. A couple of seasons ago, In Tottenham's 28 games at this level, there were 124 goals scored. They went forward in their droves and managed to bag a lot of goals. They also conceded a fair few too. 82 scored, 42 conceded. An average of more than 4 goals a game in their matches. They were the team to watch. So far, just the 2 goals in this one.
Yep, I think there's another goal coming. And I think, as I said earlier, it does have a flow to this game at the moment. It looks more likely to be Manchester United.
Love. Wilson chasing it, and Sean Goss here. Into the middle towards Falcao. It's beaten in the air by Kumalo. Grimshaw gets the touch in, an all-important touch.
Good spell, high tempo from Manchester United. Winning the ball back quickly, moving the ball quickly.
Here's Raphael. Wilson. Wilson's going for it, but he's cut right across that, and it is in fact a throw-in. Here comes another change then. In fact, it's going to be a change apiece. And Radamel Falcao is going to be taken off here. Joshua Harrop is going to come on in his place. So he's had 70 minutes.
And it looked like he wanted 20 minutes more, didn't it? He's worked hard. It hasn't happened from again tonight. It's not going to be like a switch you can just flick on and get confidence back.
So it's the end of Falcao's night. And Tottenham are going to make a change as well. Josh Onoma goes off to be replaced by Luke Amos. Here's Pereira. Goss dispossessed. Lesniak with a bit of a hit and hope. So the fresh legs of Joshua Harrop are on, and James Wilson has now moved more central as the striker.
He's had a few attempts at goal from a wide position, hasn't he, James Wilson? And always interesting to see a player when he reverts back to his normal position, his preferred position, which I think he prefers, playing as a striker. He's able to play with a little bit more freedom. And you often get that 10-minute burst where they're happy to be back home again. And life is easier, more comfortable, playing in a position where you do things instinctively. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come up with the winning goal.
And the funny thing is, before he was moved to a central striking role, he looked very much at home on the wing. And in recent times, of course, he's torn defences to shreds playing through the middle. So let's see what the final 17 minutes or so hold in this game with him through the middle. Here's Raphael. Harrop to Goss. And now Kellett. Andreas Pereira straight at the referee. Andy Scragg took that one from Pereira and is over the line and will be a United throw.
Sean Goss did well there, just held back on the challenge. I thought he was going to fly in on Coulthurst. He's had a warning from the referee.
Here's Tom Thorpe, who scored that late winner against Tottenham in the game earlier on in the season. It was that late. Here's Rothwell. Harrop to Grimshaw. Kellett providing the width on this side. Kellett tries to go past Walker-Peters, does well. Stays on his feet as well. Harrop, shooting chance maybe. Gets the shot off. Deflection though really took any danger out of that. Here's Amos. Lesniak to Grant Ward. Luke Amos again. Question is, who wants to win this game? Or maybe is the question more accurately, who doesn't want to lose it? Are we going to see a cagey last 15 minutes here?
I hope not, and that normally is the case with younger players, and where the result isn't the be-all and end-all. You know, but both teams will have players that will fancy their chances of scoring the winning goal, that will want to score a goal at Old Trafford.
Andreas Pereira to Tom Thorpe. Grimshaw. Here's Harrop. Sets Raphael away. Wilson the only one in the middle. It's towards him. Maybe he was just on his heels there as the attack developed. Kellett. Now it's Joshua Harrop who'll be through the middle as Wilson is here trying to make headway on this side. Kellett. Grimshaw to Raphael. Pereira this time comes into the middle and got to the ball just before Kumalo, and he thought he was caught after it.
At the very least, he's hoping for a corner, wasn't he? Good dynamic play for Manchester United, and get the ball into blocks. James Wilson, I think, was suffering a little bit of an injury on the far post, so Pereira did really well to recognise there was no one in the box, made up ground to get in there, and was unlucky not to get an attempt at goal.
Yes, James Wilson doesn't look 100% at the moment. As you mentioned that, Terry.
He was stretching, wasn't he? It looked as if it might be, hopefully, just a touch of cramp. I'm not sure how much football he has been playing lately, just a few appearances here and there. Hopefully it's nothing more sinister than a muscle injury.
Here's McAvoy. Philip Lesniak. Out towards Ogilvie, but it was spotted by Harrop. Tottenham are about to make a change up front with Daniel Akindaini poised, ready for action. Raphael, lovely ball into the path of Kellett, and maybe he was thinking about what he was going to do with the ball before he managed to control it. Here's Wilson, who was just struggling a moment or two ago. Now here comes the Tottenham change. Shaquille Coulthurst to be replaced. Doesn't look best pleased with that decision. And it will
player that's been out on loan, hasn't he, and back in the under-21s.
Daniel Akindaini comes on. He scored 3 in his first 3 games of this season at this level. Only 1 goal since. But he will now look to try and be the match winner. Are we going to get a match winner, I wonder? Just over 10 minutes to go. Here's Kumalo. Kellett's header to Pereira. It's out off him for a Tottenham throw. Amos. Carter Vickers. Pressure from Harrop. Warren Joyce trying to keep Joshua Harrop charging around. It's often the last words from a manager, isn't it? Go and use 90 minutes of energy in the space of 25 minutes. Make yourself a real nuisance in the middle of the park.
Both managers will be searching for a player that can make a difference, can win this game, take all 3 points, be a match winner. A bit of a stalemate at the moment, isn't it? Tottenham quite content to have a lot of possession, haven't troubled Victor Valdez barely at all in the second half. Apart from the effort that come off the crossbar from the well-worked free kick, it's been pretty comfortable for the back four of Manchester United and the goalkeeper.
McAvoy. Good cross in, but an easy claim for Valdez, with Akindaini the closest Tottenham player to him. Just be keen to hold on to the ball for a little bit, because he hasn't really seen a lot of it tonight. Luke McGee's been the busier of the two keepers. Grant Ward, nice run. Went down under the challenge of Raphael. Referee just told him to get up. Thorpe to Wilson. Pendulum has swung a bit again, hasn't it? And it's Tottenham now seeing more of the ball after a decent spell from United.
Luke Amos has been an interesting sub for Spurs. It's a totally different player to the player he replaced in Onoma. He's more playing a deeper role. And just keeping the ball nice and simple, the passing nice and simple, but he's keeping it moving quickly.
Raphael just brought down.
Just Lesniak, wasn't it? It was the holding midfield player for Spurs, but Luke Amos has joined him. And 3 players now in support of Akindaini. Again, it's a good little spell for Spurs.
Here's Pereira to Kellett. Cutting it back for Wilson. 2 Tottenham players threw themselves in front of that to make sure he didn't get any real telling contact. Joe Rothwell just a moment or so ago just pulled up in the centre of the park, and I think he's made the gesture to Warren Joyce that he's not going to be able to carry on.
This is where the game can open up when managers have made changes, been forced into making changes as well. A little bit of discipline and shape goes from both teams.
Good challenge there by Donald Love. Here's Raphael. Grimshaw. Only really Wilson ahead of him centrally. So many white shirts through the middle for Tottenham. Andreas Pereira. Turn of pace, but then Walker Peters has plenty of that. Looks a talented fullback. A young 17-year-old playing in the under-21s. There is the change. Joe Rothwell replaced by Axel Tuanzebe, who's been a real regular in the under-18s. This is second under-21s appearance. Came on in the Senior Cup against Bolton, and he came on in midfield there, and it looks like he's going to play in that kind of position this time round as well. He's formed a great partnership in the under-18s with Roshawn Williams throughout the course of this season so far.
It's good to see both teams playing young players as well, isn't it? I know it's an under-21 league, so basically they're all young, but there's a lot of teenagers playing for both teams tonight.
Well, you consider Axel Tuanzebe is half Victor Valdez's age. I'm saying that quietly because I don't want him to get angry with me. Forward from Amos. Walker-Peters trying to help that into the middle where there's no Tottenham attacker in the end. Kindaini had just pulled to the edge of the box. Tuanzebe back to Raphael. We've got 5 minutes standing between us and a draw. But then when you consider that with 5 minutes to go and these two sides met at Stevenage, it was 0-0 and it ended 2-1. So who knows what's going to happen. Here's Pereira. Kellett is with him. It's a lovely ball to find him. He's looking for Harrop. Harrop's going for goal and Ogilvie got his head in the way.
It's a good block from Ogilvie, but it's a chance you feel that Manchester United should have taken. Kellett does really well. Makes an overlapping run past Pereira. Picks out Harrop. And it's a good block from Ogilvie.
In comes the cross and it's on the top of the net.
It opened up though, didn't it? Pace down the flank. Body's getting forward for Manchester United in an attempt to win the game. I think they realise that it's certainly in their interest to win the game. Just contesting top spot in the table.
So the Tottenham change is Philip Lesniak replaced by Aaron McAnuff, who's only just back after a long-term injury. Made his first start in the last game after a long spell on the sidelines, so nice to see a young player recovering from a setback. Will there be another chance as good as that one in this game, I wonder? Donald Love does well to win the throw. Kellett back to Love. Wilson will chase.
The draw certainly favours Tottenham, doesn't it, as the away team. Played a game less than Manchester United. I think in fairness to Tottenham, they haven't come here looking for a draw, but there's one or two signs at the end of it that they would be content to take a 1-1.
Goal kick to United then. Last 2.5 minutes of normal time. If it stays this way, it'll be 3 draws in the last 4 games for Warren Joyce's side. Against Everton, against Sunderland, and tonight here against Spurs. That's 3 and 4 in all competitions. 3 straight league draws if it stays this way. Here's Amos. Walker-Peters. Kindaini trying to control, but he's not going to be able to. Just petering out a bit this game now, isn't it?
It has, and I'm afraid so, and I didn't expect that to happen.
Maybe James Wilson can inject some pace, some quality into this ending. Axel Tuanzebe. Joshua Harrop to Liam Grimshaw. Axel Tuanzebe is playing centre forward for the time being here. Harrop, there's the control, there's the pass to Raphael. He's got time, he's got space, and he's got players in the middle. And Walker-Peters takes the safe option and gets rid of the ball.
Yeah, I think Raphael himself was disappointed with that cross. Look at despair as he clipped the ball and it was at the wrong angle on it. Good defending from Walker-Peters. He's been excellent, Raphael, hasn't he? He's made a case tonight with Lou Van Gaal. If he's watching, he's fit, ready, and able to do a job in the first team.
Now the reverse fixture. United won 2-1. Tom Thorpe with a late header from a corner. The script is written. Can they follow the lines? It's flicked in by Grimshaw. United will get another go.
Yeah, Pereira needs to get more height on the cross, doesn't he? He has to miss out the player at the near post, Luke Amos.
3 added minutes. Familiar territory for these two. Maybe more late drama on the way. In it comes from Pereira. It's Wilson with the header. Out goes the keeper with Thorpe. He's dropped it, and the referee has blown in favour of the goalkeeper. And Tom Thorpe thought that history might repeat itself there.
Well, this is going to be worth analysing, isn't it? Looking, so often we see the goalkeepers get treated. Tom Thorpe maybe just makes a slight back in towards the goalkeeper. Just slightly impeded Luke McGee.
There's still time. You just never know when these two meet. Some great battles between them down through the years, down through the levels. Here's Walker-Peters. McAvoy taking on Kellett, who's got the legs to stay with him and got the know-it-all to just see that threat out.
Tottenham goal scorer there. McAvoy looked a tired player, didn't he? He's struggling at the moment.
Just trying to get to his feet, McAvoy, and
I think Manchester United are entitled to play on, aren't they? And I know it's Victor Valdez who's looking across and being sporting. Here's cramp and general tiredness. We've all worked hard tonight. It's been a good attitude. Can't question fault the attitude of both sets of players. He has got cramp. Been there, seen that, done it, and worn the t-shirt and many a time, and cramp sets in. He's lucky it's not long left of the game. He won't be able to continue much longer.
We're in the last minute of added time as Axel Tuanzebe chases this one down with McGee. It's not the best of clearances, but it's not the best of touches from Harrop, and that will probably be the end of the game rolling away.
Just slightly disappointed that teams haven't committed more players into attack in an attempt to win the game. Defences have been on top. Both midfields have competed well against each other. Both goals have been gifts, haven't they, as well, given away.
Love to Kellett. One last chance perhaps for United to win this game. Pereira up against Walker-Peters. It's lovely from Pereira. And again. And then there are just enough players back to snuff out the threat. He hasn't given up on it though. He's gone down. The free kick is not given because that's the final whistle. And it brings an end to a competitive and at times entertaining contest, which has provided a couple of goals for us, both from mistakes. McAvoy scoring in the first half after the mistake from Joe Rothwell, and Luke McGee's error present